All Night Long Wrestling Podcast with the Enforcer.
I believe they're called enforcers, Gordon. I sell women's shoes.
And the Stallion.
Stallion, baby! I am not what you would call a handsome man. I'll kick you in the nuts and you'll smile at me and like it all night long.
After a week off, a nice vacation, 7 days to do nothing, lay on a beach, drink mojitos, we are back to another episode of the All Night Long Wrestling Podcast. He is the Stallion, I am the Enforcer, and we are coming to you live from the All Night Arena. What do we call this place?
There was a zone involved, I think, at one point.
All Night Zone? All Night Zone? Impact Zone?
No.
All
Night Asylum.
All Night Ass Zone?
Yeah.
Was it the Ass Zone? No.
I don't think it was the S Zone.
No. It's going to piss me off, too.
We trademarked it. I'll just check the court system.
Speaking of pissing me off, you know what pissed me off this week? No Neville on Monday Night Raw. It's funny you should say that, Joe. I'm talking to myself now. Listen, no Neville on Monday Night Raw after he...
Should I leave?
No, I can do this. No, I can't listen. We need you here. You're the comic relief. I'm the shit.
So Neville, you were talking
Neville,
about.
right. Big breaking news this week, aside from Ezekiel Elliott's suspension being upheld. You suck, Goodell. Adrian Neville, go the full name. It's been a while. The man that gravity forgot has apparently given his notice to the WWE, and he is done with the fugaziness, if you will. And rumors circulating the interwebs are that Neville has been unhappy since WrestleMania 33 with the pre-show match?
Yeah, he was on the pre-show against Austin Aries in the Cruiserweight title match. Didn't make it to the main show. Actually, I think it was the opening match on the pre-show.
Yeah. Didn't you have Gronkowski on the second portion of the pre-show?
Yeah, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal also took place on said pre-show.
And apparently...
I think Dean Ambrose, Baron Corbin also on the pre-show. Sorry, we went off.
No, they could all stay there, as far as I'm concerned. But, so, according to the reports, that was the straw that, not broke the camel's back, but that's the straw that gave the camel arthritis. Kind of was the tipping point. And, so... Pretty much also the other thing was that he didn't get any royalties from the event because him and Austin Aries were left off the DVD. You have an Austin Aries Neville match and it doesn't even make the DVD. They didn't even do anything on the W Network.
I wonder why they would leave it off the DVD. Like, why would you not put the bonus matches on the DVD? Like, there's 3 matches that took place, I believe 3, on the pre-show. Like, why not include all 3 on? I don't know why you wouldn't include on the DVD.
I need more Vicky Guerrero pig slop matches and like gravy bowl matches and that kind of stuff. That's what this era is missing. A bunch of lollipops are too soft for the olden days, huh? Get your snowflakes in the back and your lollipops. I'm now only referring to people as lollipops. Thank you, Eddie Kingston. So, Neville was the face of the Cruiserweight division for, better part of 6 months, 8 months?
Yeah, I think I guess it was before WrestleMania, yeah, so, I guess it was, what was it, the Rumble maybe that he won it?
Yeah, so we're looking at...
most of the year, I would say he was basically, like you said, the focal point of the division.
And did not get any airtime on Raw. No main event push for him. All of a sudden, he drops the title to Enzo Amore, which is... That's a tough pill to swallow. And then Enzo becomes the main event of Raw 3 weeks running. So I think all that kind of culminated, thank you, into Neville just kind of having enough and saying, he wants to go see what he could do elsewhere. The report that I read, and I think it was from PW Insider, forgive me if I'm wrong, but they said he wants to kind of go explore the indies and reinvent himself kind of like his buddy Drew Galloway did. How do you feel, being a Neville fan, which I know you are, how do you feel about his decision?
I mean, I don't really have any issue with it, to be honest. I mean, I don't know that they weren't doing a whole lot with him before the Cruiserweight division was kind of re-implemented, right? So
he broke his ankle.
Yeah, they were trying to do something with him. I think he was going to be in like a IC title ladder match at the prior year's WrestleMania, right? And then he was hurt, so he didn't get in. I think that was the one where Zack Ryder was put in. It was supposed to be Neville in that spot.
Oh, yeah, and he woo.
Yeah. He actually went in and won for like a day, and then lost title the next night to The Miz. So I think they haven't really done much with him outside of then they had the Cruiserweight division. They put him in that. They turned him heel. He was pretty much universally praised for his work in the division and working as a heel, and he had good matches with as many as he possibly could out of the guys that he was paired with. And now that he doesn't have the title anymore, what else is there for him to do, right? Unless he was going to be moved out of the Cruiserweight division, which who knows if that was going to be the case or not.
Or if they make tag team titles.
That would be awful. So, so I don't really know. He probably did not have a direction, I'm assuming. Like, that whole show really has little to no direction. There's usually like 2 to 3 feuds going at once at most, right, for the Cruiserweights. And half of those do not get really featured on Monday night, right? It's usually it's only the title feud, and then 205 Live has side feuds. I think like Rich Swann and TJP had a feud going, and Drew Gulak has his no-fly zone business that he's got. So that type of stuff. So he probably didn't have a direction, and he was scheduled, I guess, the rumor was that he was scheduled to lose on Raw again to Enzo was the original plan. And then whether he walked out or he wasn't there and hadn't been with the company and he wanted out of his contract, they changed it to Kalisto, and then that went from there. So, if he wants to leave and do his own thing, then, that's perfectly fine with me. I have no problem. I mean, I don't know what his life is like outside the business, if he has a family and stuff he needs to support, and if he can go earn a living working on independent shows and in England and, whatever these other PWG and ROH and whatever it is he's got going on, then good on him. If he's not happy with what he's doing, then he should go.
Neville, 2018 Best of Super Juniors. Come on, it writes itself. I know Will Ospreay is already begging for a match with Neville. Ricochet was doing the same thing. I mean, the WWE's loss. What did CM Punk say in the promo? Another spoke on the wheel, pretty much. The WWE is going to make money hand over fist despite itself. And that's what's going to happen. Neville's not going to be a big loss to the WWE. He's not. I love Neville. I think he's one of the best wrestlers they had, but it's not like he was main eventing. It's not like, I don't want to use an insider term, not like he was drawing the house, So the only people losing here really are the fans because we're not going to see him, but he wasn't really able to have great matches anyway because he had 90-second to 120-second time limit matches. I mean, so I think there's a bright future out there for Neville. There's guys like Ricochet, there's guys like Will Ospreay, there's guys like Ibushi. There's a lot for him to do. I'm sure he can go anywhere. He's worked all over the world as it is. So to have, I don't know if he's ever been in New Japan though. I know he worked for Dragon Gate.
He's worked.
Now
I'm
going to look it up. Yeah,
I don't know if he's worked in New Japan. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure he would probably have more fun and enjoy his matches on the independent scene if he's wrestling some of the guys that you noted, and in front of fans that are maybe more appreciative of his style and his efforts. And I'm sure these guys that have some level of a name from WWE that go out onto the indies usually start out in somewhat of a they're somewhat of a big deal, I guess, just because they came from there and now they're out on the indies, right? So everyone knows what Cody Rhodes has been doing. He was only really there, right? And then he left there to do all these independent shows and ROH and all this stuff. And he got a big reaction when he first left, and then other guys that leave also, right? I mean, when Ryback left, he was kind of a a hot item, I guess, so to speak, in some of these indie shows he would show up at, and I think Wade Barrett and Jack Swagger and some of these guys that are kind of the mid card, lower card guys in WWE. They go out on the indies and they're kind of a name, and then they become, somewhat of a featured or coveted person to have on shows. So I'm sure he'll get that treatment if in fact he has left the company, and he'll be able to compete in 60, 90 days or whatever it is.
Coincidentally, he could have a real match with Austin Aries, because both of those guys have left the WWE since. I actually just read that Austin Aries is going to be wrestling Ricochet. I think it was in New Zealand. I'm not sure. But, I mean, these are dream matches, and Pac's not getting any younger, or I'm sorry, Neville's not getting any younger, and Austin Aries also, he's got to be, 35, 36, Aries?
I think so.
He's right around that, right around that age. So these guys... I hope they've made their money in the WWE, and in Aries' case at TNA. So I hope they can go out and just enjoy their matches. Listen, because in 10 years, if Neville wants to go back to WWE, he could still work a WWE style match in 10 years. It's not a very fast paced match. But for right now, if he wants to go out there and kill it wherever he decides to go, whether it be Ring of Honor, that would be a shot in the arm to Ring of Honor. I said the other day, I was like, if I was Ring of Honor, I would throw buckets of money at Neville. And you responded with, does Ring of Honor have buckets of money? That's a good question. Well, they have enough to sign Cody Rhodes for the foreseeable future, so.
Yeah, I don't know what their situation is financially. I read something the other day that indicated that they don't. That, like, for Sinclair, it's they take a loss on it. Like, I think that's my understanding of I don't know how accurate that is, or where I might have been like a Meltzer thing or something that I read, but I think that's what I had heard, that they were in danger of, I guess going under at one point, and Sinclair bought it, years back. They gave it that more of a wider distribution on television, and I think they said they take a loss on it. I don't know how much of a loss or how significant it is. I'm sure they wouldn't be consistently in the red year after year after year, and it wouldn't keep it going if it was that bad. So
I don't care how much you love wrestling. Business is business.
Unless you're Dixie Carter.
Why would you bring up Dixie Carter?
Well, she loves wrestling. She loved being on the show, and basically bankrupted whatever.
She was a mark for herself, though.
Sure.
Speaking of people out of free agents. Jimmy Jacobs, former Ring of Honor superstar, now former WWE writer, Jimmy Jacobs has lost his job with the WWE over a picture that he tweeted or he posted on Instagram of him and the Bullet Club from the Invasion 2 weeks ago on Raw. What are your thoughts on the WWE firing Jimmy Jacobs over this?
Well, no, I don't know. I mean, the first thing I read was it was the final straw or something for him. So that leads me to believe that there were other issues going on where maybe they weren't, or they had soured on him in the company. Well, I don't know what those are, or if that's the case. Would they fire a guy solely because he took a picture with them? I don't know if they did, then he couldn't have been that valuable or important of a person in terms of what they were doing. To just be like, you know what, this guy did this, we don't really need him, let's get rid of him. Like, if they thought so highly of him as a creative guy or writer or whatever it was that he was doing, they wouldn't do that. If Road Dogg had taken a picture with the Young Bucks and Marty Scurll and Adam Page, do you think they would have fired him a week later?
Is he or is he not banging Triple H the way he is now?
I don't know what you mean. He's the head writer or one of the head writers on the SmackDown brand. I guess my thing, I don't think they would have done that with him, right? If he would have done that, they would not have fired him for doing that. I think if they may have been unhappy, he may have been punished, demoted, fined, something like that. Would they have fired Road Dogg? Probably not. Jimmy Jacobs, I'm not sure what his ties are to the company or how he got in the first place. I know he's friends with Kevin Owens and guys like that. I don't know if that was his connection to get in, but he probably doesn't have there's probably not a lot of loyalty towards him there. So because of that, they see something like this and they're like, I guess they were annoyed at the whole Invasion thing. I don't know what the whole deal with that whole stuff is with the cease and desist and all these things.